Hello, folks, and welcome to a new episode of LoroSportsPod and Sportscenter with Loro and Matt. And today we have a lot to talk about: Week 7 recap, and then Week 8 preview, and then for baseball we'll have some things to talk about with the Dodgers and what their plans are in this upcoming off season. And then for the NBA, we'll have some Lakers recaps for you, and then the NHL, we're going to predict some awards for you all. So, Matt, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing really well. So now let's start off with our Week 7 recap. So one of my biggest takeaways is that the Patriots finally got their first home win. They blew out the Jets 54-13. And then one of my other biggest takeaways is that Matthew Stafford beat up on his former team in the Detroit Lions, and you were there, and you have a lot to say in that.
Yeah, that was a fun game. There was a lot of fake. Sorry, my dog just jumped up on the couch there. Start off with a touchdown drive where DeAndre Swift ran that ball back like 60 yards or something after a short pass from Goff, and then they got the onside kick, which was crazy. And then the next drive, they had 2 fake punts. It was a wild start. Dan Campbell is throwing everything he can at this to win a game. I love Dan Campbell. He's doing just a fantastic job. And they don't quite have the personnel there. But I think it's going to work. And I think he's going to be a success there.
He will be a success in Detroit. So for the Lions, they are off to their first 0-7 start since 2008. Are you seeing glimpses of the 08 Lions in this Lions team right now?
No, because the thing with this team, or the team with the 08 team, is they had given up on Marinelli, whereas this team is fighting. This team is definitely fighting for Dan Campbell. So I don't see that. No, not with this team. They might get a win this week against they host Philadelphia.
Oh man, I wonder if I don't have the Lions winning that game though, because I think the Eagles could come and win this game. We'll have to talk about that in a minute. But the Patriots, however, blew out the Jets 54-13. Zach Wilson is out 2 to 4 weeks. Joe Flacco is going to be a Jet again.
Yeah. Going back up the road from Philly to New York. And yeah, with Zach Wilson maybe out for a couple of weeks at least, they need him up there. They need a backup. So
yes, they do. They need a veteran backup there. That's for sure. So anyway, so now the Chargers have a bye week. We're going to talk about their game in a few minutes against the New England Patriots. You get to see my team in person for the first time.
Yeah, first time seeing the Patriots and Bill Belichick on the sideline.
So now let's talk about tomorrow's Thursday night football game to kick off Week 8. What a game to kick off Week 8. The Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers going up against Kyler Murray and the red-hot Arizona Cardinals. So, I think if you look at it here, Devontae Adams may be out. The Packers are without Joe Barry. He's their defensive coordinator. He tested positive for COVID-19.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to say this is going to be a really competitive football game. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals in this game.
Yeah, I'm going with Arizona too. I think that they are going to bring this one home, especially with the COVID issues the Packers now have. So, yeah, I'm going with the Cardinals.
All right, now let's talk about the Sunday slate. This is a Halloween edition of Week 8 of the NFL season. Hope everybody eats junk food that day and candy.
Yeah.
So the Rams, however, visit one of the worst teams in the NFL, the Houston Texans. So I think this is not much to talk about in this game because I think the Texans are one of the worst teams in the NFL, along with the Detroit Lions, and then for the
Jets
and the New York Jets, and for the Rams, I think the Rams, however, the Rams are probably going to come in and win this game. So I'm going to say that the Rams in a lock this week. That's my lock of the week. The Rams over the Texans.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I think Rams are going to definitely take it to Houston. They're my lock of the week as well.
And also a lot of rumors of Deshaun Watson being traded. I'm tired of those rumors. And I'm going to tell everybody here, he is not going to be a Miami Dolphin.
Oh, you don't think so? I think they're closer. I think they're closer.
I'm tired of those trade rumors. I just think that I just believe what Brian Flores said in that report. He denied that report, and he said that Tua's our guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to make a trade if they can get some type of, not a guarantee, but some type of direction on Watson's legal issues. I don't think they should trade for him, I just don't.
Are you talking about the Dolphins?
Right. I don't think Watson is the guy.
Not in Miami. I think he should be traded. My pick's the Denver Broncos.
Uh-huh.
Because I think that they have a lot of quarterback issues, and Teddy Bridgewater is a serviceable backup, and he would be a great backup for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
That's what I think there. So now let's talk about the Bengals and the Jets. That's going to be my second lock of the week. The Bengals blowing out the New York Jets. And Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, the way they played last week in Baltimore, didn't even think that they would beat Baltimore. The Bengals, they're for real right now. Going to continue to go with them if they keep winning ball games. This kind of reminds me of LSU all over again for Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going definitely with the Bengals here. I think the Jets look very lost out there.
Yes, it's the same old thing over and over again, but I think Robert Saleh and Zach Wilson are the right people to lead the Jets into the future. But I just think that what the problem is, I think it's the front office. I think Joe Douglas is the right person to be the general manager of the Jets.
Yeah.
I don't think Joe Douglas is the issue. Robert Saleh's not the issue. I think it might be ownership.
Uh-huh.
Which starts with Woody Johnson.
Yep, I agree.
So now let's talk about the Titans and Colts. So, I mean, these two teams met back in week 3. I'll tell you what, this could be a trap game for both teams. So I think realistically, the Colts are going to probably get a win here against the Titans because they're at home. But I'm going to say the Titans are going to win this game. This is a trap game for both teams.
Yep, I think so too. Well, I think with the Titans, they had 2 great wins, home against Buffalo, home against Kansas City. I think that they go up to Indianapolis, and I think they lose that game. I think they're going to lose on the road in a tough environment. And Indianapolis all of a sudden might be looking to make a charge at the Titans.
Yes, with the things that if you play Madden, I think that's how the Colts would be. They would get off to a good start, and they would probably lose that one game to Indianapolis if you played Madden. So I think the Colts, since they're at home, they might get a win there.
Yep.
And then let's talk about the Steelers and the Browns. So Ben Roethlisberger against Baker Mayfield. I'm not sure if he's even playing this game. I think Baker Mayfield will return this game just because he didn't play Thursday night. And I think that and I'm looking it up right now, that Baker is hopeful to play Sunday, and I expect him to be back here. So Kevin Stefanski is not committed just yet. We'll just have to wait and see how that goes. I think Baker Mayfield's going to fight through this shoulder injury. It's not the throwing shoulder that's the issue. It's the non-throwing shoulder. So just to make that clear, folks, I'm going to say Cleveland is going to win this game.
Yep. I think Cleveland's going to win. I think that I don't think there's that much difference between Case Keenum and Baker Mayfield. So I'm going to go with no matter who they start, I think the Browns get a win.
They will. So, anyways, now that being said here, now let's talk about the Eagles versus your hometown Detroit Lions. And like you said, the Lions are showing fight for Dan Campbell. And for the Eagles, can they find a way to continue to win bowl games with Jalen Hurts, which I think they are very capable of finding a playoff spot with Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game. I'm not sure about if the Lions defense can stop Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I think the Lions are going to get their first win of the season against Philly. I keep on calling them and I keep on not getting right, but I think it's going to happen this week, and I think they're going to get a big win.
You think that this is going to be the game that Detroit will get win number one, and Jared Goff will get his first win as a starting quarterback without Sean McVay?
Yeah, I think so.
He almost beat his former boss, though.
He did. Yeah, he was close.
But you think that this could be his best game as a Lion?
I think they'll win in some other ways, but I think he'll have a pretty good game.
Oh, I thought so. So now let's talk about the 49ers and Bears. There's somewhat of a quarterback controversy going on with the 49ers. Who do you start? They think it's Jimmy Garoppolo in his homecoming game because he's from the Chicago area. But really, I want to see Trey Lance versus Justin Fields, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too. But I'll say that besides, I think that I want to see Trey Lance, but I think the bigger problem here is actually Kyle Shanahan. He might be overrated. I don't know. What do you think about Kyle Shanahan?
He's made a lot of costly coaching decisions in the Super Bowl, especially losing to the Patriots in Super Bowl 51 on that when Brady made that improbable comeback. And then he also made a stupid decision in coaching when he took the Niners to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So he could be. I don't think he's overrated in a way. I believe in him, though.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to say that I'm going to pick the Chicago Bears to win this game. I mean, as much as I want San Francisco, I just think that Justin Fields is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm going with a better quarterback.
I'm going to go with the 49ers here. I probably shouldn't, but I think they get a bounce-back win on the road at Soldier Field.
Yeah, the Bears look lost. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, just because from what happened last week in Tampa Bay, the Bears got demolished.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that? Because I heard that Matt Nagy made some atrocious play calls in Tampa.
Yep. He looked terrible out there. They got creamed.
I'm telling everybody, that's what he needs to get fired and get out of Chicago as soon as possible. Bears are better off with a head coach, and I think Eric Bieniemy would be a better fit there than Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
Then let's talk about the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. This is another trap game for both teams.
Yes, it is. I'm going to go with the Falcons in this one. I don't know what's going on with the Panthers right now. I think Matt Rule, to be honest, maybe wants to go back to college.
You honestly think that he would want to go back to college?
Yeah.
Do you think
he looks like the thing with Darnold is not working out, and they might be able to get Deshaun Watson. I heard they're in the sweepstakes for that, but I just don't think I just don't think he's cut for the NFL, I guess, is what I'd say.
Why don't you not think he's cut for the NFL? His dream was to coach the Giants.
Yeah, I don't know. But he is not ready for the NFL, it looks like. I mean, he started off 3-0, now they've lost 4 in a row. These games they're losing are inexcusable. Like home against or at the Giants, 25-3.
Should have won that game.
Yeah. It shows me something's wrong with the coaching staff or maybe the quarterback, situation. But I think it's both. I think it's the coaching staff and the quarterback.
Maybe if Matt Rule gets fired, maybe if I were the Panthers, you should promote Joe Brady as the head coach.
Yeah.
And I think he would help Sam Darnold out, be a better quarterback. He's done a good job with Sam Darnold, though.
Yeah.
But I'm not ready to put Matt Rule on the hot seat yet. It's going to depend on this game coming up in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think he's
also
on the hot seat, though. But I think, definitely, if you lose this game in Atlanta, it's going to be really bad.
Also, I want to point out is that Christian McCaffrey's not healthy.
That's true. Yeah. But they shouldn't be that bad even without him.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to just do other things without McCaffrey. Like they're trying to pass the ball. They're trying to pass the ball more often. And the Panthers somehow still have a pretty good defense.
Right.
They have and when they got Gilmore, I was like that they should be better with him.
I agree.
So I'm going to pick Carolina. I just think that they need to win now. They need to show me something against a sorry Falcons team. A lot of people thought that they would be the worst team in the NFL, but Arthur Smith is playing. I think the Falcons are playing hard for Arthur Smith.
They are.
Now, I think this game right here is my upset special. So I love Brian Flores. I think a lot of people are criticizing him because of the Dolphins' 1-5 start. It was a tough loss for them to the Falcons, but I thought the Dolphins played well, and I thought that Brian Flores handled the Deshaun Watson rumors very handily, and he said that I love Tua. He's our guy, and I agree with what he said here, and I agree with Stephen Ross shutting down those rumors. And for the Bills, they're playing really well, and I feel like that the Bills should have been undefeated, and I felt like that this game could be one of their first losses of the season in Buffalo. I'm going to pick the Dolphins in an upset, and I think Tua Tagovailoa is going to have this team resurge after coming off a rib injury.
Yeah.
And who's your pick to win this game?
I'm going with the Bills.
In a blowout or in a close one?
In a blowout.
Why do you think the Bills will blow out the Dolphins in Buffalo?
I think because it's in Buffalo, but I think Tua's played some good games recently, so he might keep it up. And if that's the case, he might actually end up doing all right.
Yeah, I think he's the Dolphins quarterback of the future. I still believe in him. I just feel like that the Dolphins, from what I've seen, they just need a better O-line to protect him.
Yeah.
I think that his receivers are fine. Will Fuller can't stay healthy. Getting Jalen Waddle is helping him out really in a big way. I think Myles Gaskin's a really good running back, but I think that they're players that I want to look at in the draft from Alabama that would want to join Miami.
Yeah.
So anyways, now on to the West Coast games. So the first 4:05 Eastern time game, that's probably another trap game that we're going to talk about, is the Seattle Seahawks going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both the Seahawks are 1-5, and the Seahawks are 2-5, and the Jags are 1-5. And I think that's what the Seahawks get for not having Russell Wilson on the field. So
yeah.
And Geno Smith, I don't think he's played that great. I don't think he stepped up in a big way, though.
Yep, I'm going with, believe it or not, I'm going with the Jags with the upset here.
I'm with you on that. I think Trevor Lawrence gets win number 2. And it's going to be fun seeing Pete Carroll and Urban Meyer go head-to-head.
Yep. And I think that's a battle of two old college coaches there. I think it's kind of on the quarterback play. And I thought Geno Smith stunk. And I don't know if he's going to have enough time to, prepare for Jacksonville. And I think Jacksonville goes up there and gets a big win.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see on that.
I think Trevor Lawrence is going to do it.
Yes, I think so. So, anyways, now with that being said, now let's talk about the game you're at. And that is when you see my team, the New England Patriots, take on the LA Chargers. The Patriots have played very good football as of late. And for the Chargers, their offense has been really good. But it's going to be dependent on if the rush defense can get this going. I mean, the rush defense is good with Bosa and with Joey Bosa and Kenneth Murray. The secondary of the Chargers is phenomenal. So I say the Patriots will win this game narrowly here. What about you?
I'm going with the Chargers. I think they're favored by 5.5 points. I think that they are going to, I think that the problem with the Patriots is they don't have that great of a rushing game, and I don't know if they're going to be able to if they're going to be able to take advantage of the Chargers' weakness there. And the Chargers have had a bye week to prepare for the Patriots, so I'm going to go with the Chargers winning by a touchdown here.
That might be a really close game, and for the Chargers here, Brandon Staley, does he deserve any votes for Coach of the Year? He's your pick for Coach of the Year.
Oh yeah, he could be. We'll see how he does it though. But I think right now, Coach of the Year might be Zach Taylor of Cincinnati.
Yeah, what a story he's been. A lot of people were putting him on the hot seat. I even put him on the hot seat.
Yep.
But I think the Bengals players love Zach Taylor.
Yes, I agree.
And you think that Bengals management, like Mike Brown, the owner, likes to keep people around for a long time.
Yep.
But I agree. Maybe Zach Taylor will get that award.
Yeah, he might. He just might do it.
And then the Buccaneers take on the Saints. So we'll take a look at the standings for the NFC South. So the Saints have been playing pretty good football lately. They're 4-2 in the season. They're a couple games back at Tampa Bay. Carolina and Atlanta are both in the doghouse right now. But I'm going to say Tampa Bay will beat the Saints. And I think the Saints are playing a lot better. And I think Jameis Winston is showing that he can be their quarterback of the future already in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Good comeback story there for Jameis Winston.
For sure.
Even though he's turnover savvy.
Right.
So who's your pick to win between the Saints and the Buccaneers?
I think it's going to be the Buccaneers. I think they look almost unstoppable.
Yeah, since losing to the Rams week 3.
Yeah.
I think they've played really good football. And you know that they're probably going to run away with this division. But the Saints, I think, they're going to challenge them in some ways. And I think the Saints are impressive without Drew Brees so far.
Uh-huh.
I think it's because it has to do with their defense. I think it has to do with the running game led by Alvin Kamara. And I think that Taysom Hill's also been used in really good gadget plays too.
Yeah, for sure.
And now let's talk about the Washington football team going up against the Denver Broncos. So I don't know who I want to win in this game. I mean, the Broncos, they've been terrible. They haven't been playing great as of late, but I'm going to pick the Washington football team to win. Even though that they're in second place, I think that they're going to get a big win in Denver.
Yeah, I think so too. I am going with Washington to get a big win here.
And now let's talk about Sunday Night Football. It's the Dallas Cowboys in Minneapolis to take on the Minnesota Vikings. I think this game in particular, I think it's going to be a really, really close game.
I think so too. Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. They've been the hottest team since losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in game 1 of the season. I think this team is definitely hot right now.
Uh-huh.
And I think the Cowboys are going to continue to play well. And I think that the Dallas Cowboys will get another win here.
Yep, I think so too.
And what about you?
Yep, I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
And now let's talk about Monday Night Football. So the Giants and the Chiefs are going head-to-head, but let's talk about the Chiefs first before we make the pick. Are you ready to panic on the Chiefs right now after losing to Tennessee? I thought that they should have gotten that win.
Yeah, the Chiefs have some troubles, that's for sure. They on offense and defense. And I think they'll play Monday night. They'll get a win against the Giants, but they're going to need some time to figure this out, I think. What about you?
Absolutely. They're going to need time to figure this out. So I am going to pick Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, I want them to start a win streak already. I think this is the game to do it. And if they play Green Bay, I think Mahomes can get the better of Aaron Rodgers when they play Green Bay next week.
Yeah.
So who's your pick?
I think it's going to be the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think Kansas City's going to go out there and get a win. So, anyways, with that being said here now, let's talk about baseball. So, last time, the Astros and Braves started the World Series, but with the Astros, they beat the Red Sox in 6. And for the Braves, they did the same thing. They knocked out the Dodgers in 6. So now, last night in Game 1, talk about a really good performance by the Braves.
Yes, they came out firing on all cylinders. They started that World season off with a lot of excitement, getting a home run there, and cruising to victory, really.
Yes, they were cruising to victory there yesterday. So let's talk about Game 2. But before we do, Charlie Martin has a broken fibula, and he is out for the remainder of the season. And he is going to be ready for spring training of next year.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on losing Charlie Martin?
I think that is a big blow to them, especially if it goes to like Game 6 or Game 7. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a big problem going forward. But they don't have to worry about that till like Game 5 or 6 or 7, but we'll see.
We'll see how tonight goes. So for Game 2, you got Max Fried going up against Jose Urquidy. So I think if I were both managers, you got to make sure that both of your starters have to go a little longer today because you're going to need that bullpen rested for Games 3, 4, and 5.
Yes, that's correct.
So what is your thoughts on this game coming up here? So who do you think is going to win Game 2 tonight?
I think it's going to be Houston. I think they'll bounce back.
I said Braves in 7, and I think the Braves took it. Braves won Game 1, and I think Houston will win Game 2 tonight.
Yep, I think
so that we have a series and that we have a competitive series heading into Atlanta, and I think the Braves will win Game 3.
Uh-huh.
So that's my thing here. So also, there was a lot of reports yesterday that there could be a MLB lockout yesterday. There were reports about that until Rob Manfred yesterday when he was speaking to reporters. He shut down all those reports and that he said that he and Tony Clark are both optimistic and both confident that they're going to get a deal done before December 1st. Do you see that? Do you think that there'll be a new CBA done before December 1st from what you heard of based on Rob Manfred and Tony Clark's comments? I'm going to say yes. When Rob Manfred said that, it makes me believe that a new collective bargaining agreement will get done before December 1st.
Yeah, I think so.
And what are your thoughts on on those latest rumors on Monday? Monday, there was just a lot of reporters speculating until Rob Manfred and Tony Clark shut those lockout rumors down yesterday when they were both speaking to the reporters yesterday before the game.
Yeah. We'll see. I think there's a lot that needs to be talked about here. I don't know if they'll have a season next year.
I think they'll have a season next year.
Why do you think so?
I just think that I believe what Rob Manfred said. I just think that when he said that he's optimistic about getting a deal done before December 1st, it makes me believe that I know what he's doing. And you also have to know that Rob Manfred has worked in labor relations before, and he was a labor counsel for that 94 player strike with Sillig. So that's something you have to know about. I think fans should know that Rob Manfred has been in labor relations before, and Rob Manfred's really good in that department.
Yeah.
But other than that, Rob Manfred just continues to ruin the game of baseball.
Yeah.
So, but I just think he's really good at one thing, is labor relations.
Yeah, I think he's probably best at that.
But being a commissioner, even though you're worried about not having a season next year, I'm not.
And you're not worried because you think he's a good negotiator.
Yes, he's a very good labor negotiator.
Uh-huh.
And when he says all those things, it makes me believe that I believe he knows what he's doing in that department. But when it comes to like changing rules, like 3-batter minimum, also rules like universal DH, expanded playoffs, I'm like, it's fine the way it is, Manfred. Like, why would you want to expand it to make up for lost revenue? I get it. And also doing things to speed up the game. I didn't like the runner on second rule. I think that was more of a COVID rule.
Yeah.
I just think that runner on second and also universal DH, I don't see that being in the new agreement. I just think that the only issue is service time.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be worked on. So, talking about Dodgers offseason plans. So, the question is, do you think the Dodgers will keep Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, Kenley Jansen, Corey Seager, and CT3? And my answer to that, I'm going to say yes. I think the Dodgers, there's no reason not to.
Uh-huh.
What about you?
I agree. I agree with you.
And do you think the Dodgers should let go of Albert Pujols? Because I think he wants to return to St. Louis next year to be with his buddies Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina.
Right, yeah.
Do you think Albert Pujols will reunite in St. Louis next year just because he would want to play with Yadier Molina for one last time?
I agree, yes.
I think the fans of St. Louis deserve it. You know what I think? Albert Pujols, Yadier Molina, and Adam Wainwright, I think they're all going to retire together.
Uh-huh.
I just think that St. Louis would want one last dance, and I think that the reason why I think Albert would want to go back to the Cardinals is so that he can make another run to the World Series with Yadier Molina. But also, they hired Oliver Marmol as their new manager. He's their bench coach under Mike Schilt, and I didn't get why the Cardinals fired Mike Schilt. That was a mistake. But hey, maybe a change in direction could really help them. I think Oliver Marmol, being under Mike Schilt, bench coach for the Cardinals, I heard he was well-liked in St. Louis. I think he could do a really good job with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I agree.
So also, who do you think should be the next manager of the Padres? Should it be Boch, or should it be Ron Washington, or do they go Buck Showalter? Because A.J. Preller needs to not mess up in this one.
Yeah. I think try to get Bruce Bochy.
I don't know if A.J. Preller would want that. He always likes to hire somebody that he worked with the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, then maybe Ron Washington.
I could see that. But for the Mets, I think they need to bring Carlos Beltran out. They need to give him another chance.
Uh-huh.
Because he stepped down from that Astros sign stealing scandal. I think the Mets need to bring him back.
Yeah.
And Luis Rojas also had an interview with the Padres. So I think the Padres should go with Mike Schilt, though. If I were them, just because Mike Schilt would bring them experience and all that.
Yeah.
So now on to the NBA. So last night, the Lakers beat the Spurs in overtime without LeBron James. What are your thoughts on that game?
Westbrook looked great. I'm wondering if it's his team now.
It could be his team. You might be right about that. So now let's talk about the Lakers game tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Do you think that they get LeBron James back and that they can just blow this team out easily?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
It could be possible here. So
yeah, I think the Lakers, Westbrook, he looked really good when he was out there by himself. So I wonder, what that's going to mean going forward for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about your Detroit Pistons. Do you think that the Pistons, even though that that they're off to a bad start, you think that they're a team that you still believe in trying to make a play-in spot?
Well, they got off to kind of a bad start, but so I don't know, but yeah, they probably won't be a play-in team.
When do you think Cade Cunningham will be back?
We'll see. Could be a while still.
And then before we talk about this, I forgot to talk about this on our MLB talk right here. So I'll talk about your Detroit Tigers real quick. So will Carlos Correa reunite with AJ Hinch next season?
I think yes, he will.
And do you think that if Correa becomes a Detroit Tiger, will this help the Tigers be a contender in that division next year, or do you think they need to get more than that still?
Yeah, I think that they need to get more than that, but it starts with getting like a shortstop and some better pitching. So what do you think?
I think it starts with better pitching for the Tigers. I like Casey Mize. I think he's going to be a Rookie of the Year finalist. And I also think that the Detroit Tigers, they could even scare the Chicago White Sox next season.
Yeah.
So, anyways, now let's talk about the NHL. So we're going to talk about awards, but I'll tell you what, before we talk about awards, so the Kings, however, lost badly to the Blues, and then your Detroit Red Wings, are they playing better than they are recently? Because they're playing tonight against the Washington Capitals, and they're 3-2-1 right now. Talk about a surprising start for the Red Wings.
Yeah, they got to a hot start. I was really surprised with that. So we'll see. Maybe they'll do a little bit better this year.
And do you think that if this team continues the way they play, do you think that they're a pretender right now?
Yeah, I think they need more, but I'll tell you, I think they might be pretty good.
And is it time to panic on the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yeah, they're off to a pretty bad start, that's for sure.
Yeah, you got the Panthers at 6-0. Do you think the Panthers will keep that up?
Yeah, I think that the Panthers might keep it up, except that their head coach is probably going to get fired.
Yeah, let's talk about the Joel Quenneville situation. So, what do you think of that situation here? And why do you think that he might get fired from the Panthers? Joel Quenneville.
Yeah, well, I think he did not do a good job handling that situation with the sexual assault in the organization there, and I think he's probably going to get fired.
And even if he gets fired, do you think I'm not talking about Carolina Panthers. I was talking about the Florida Panthers. You think that they're still going to be a competitive team, and you think that they're a playoff team at this point?
I think they are. It depends how they handle this fallout going forward, though, if they can keep the team chemistry going or not. I think they probably can.
I think they can as well. But let's talk about other teams that need a change in head coach. The Chicago Blackhawks, with the talent that they have, They should be better than 0-5.
Yeah, well, they have it's such a tough situation because of what happened. So we'll see what happens with all this, though.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's not a surprise that the Blues are good. They're off to a really good start. The Central's one of the toughest divisions in hockey. The Minnesota Wild are really good right now. And then the Winnipeg Jets is no surprise. But I am not worried about the Colorado Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights getting off slow starts. I think they're going to pick it up.
Yeah, I think so too.
So now let's talk about awards. So let's start with who is going to be this year's Calder Trophy winner. So let's talk about who are the favorites to win that award. So last year it was Kirill Kaprizov. So, and you talk about him being the next face of the Minnesota Wild franchise.
And
then for this year's Calder Trophy odds winner, I'm looking at the odds right now. Let's take a look here at who I think is going to win it. I think it could be a King. It could be Arthur Kaliev. I am going to go with Lucas Raymond from the Detroit Red Wings.
Me too. He's already had a hat trick this season.
So he is a Rookie of the Year candidate right there for the Calder Trophy.
Yep.
Now let's talk about who is going to win who is our pick to win the Hart Trophy. I have it between 3 candidates here. I think I'm going to pick one of these 2 is from the Edmonton Oilers. Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, and also from the Colorado Avalanche, Nate McKinnon. So I'm going to pick – this is a tough choice. I'm going to pick Connor McDavid from the Edmonton Oilers.
All right. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I might go with that too. I agree.
For the Hart Trophy.
Yeah.
And let's talk about who's going to be the goaltender of the year for the Vezina Trophy Award. You got Andrei Vasilevsky, who's always in the mix for that, and I think he will be in that mix. And then and also throw in there Frederick Anderson from the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then I'm going to throw in Cal Peterson from the LA Kings.
All right.
And my pick for the Vezina Trophy is I'm going to give it to a King this year. It's going to be Cal Peterson.
All right.
And who's your pick?
This is going to be a tough one. Yeah, you can always go with Vasilevsky. He's just always up there at the top. I might go with somebody different just to throw someone else out there. I'm going to go with Connor Hellebuyck of the Winnipeg Jets.
That's a good choice, but also don't underestimate Tuukka Rask.
Yeah.
Because Tuukka Rask is an elite goaltender in the NHL, but Connor Hellebuyck, he's like their best player on that team right now. And talk about having good goaltending helps you win a lot of games.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about who's going to be the Jack Adams Coach of the Year winner. And I think it's going to be between those 3 guys. John Cooper from the Tampa Bay Lightning, Bruce Cassidy from the Boston Bruins, and Peter Laviolette from the Washington Capitals.
All right.
And my pick is Peter Laviolette from the Washington Capitals. He's my pick for the Jack Adams Coach of the Year. He's an experienced coach that's led teams to Stanley Cup championships. And I wouldn't be shocked if he led the Capitals to a run to the Stanley Cup, which I think he will. He has that experience. But also, I'm not going to rule out Barry Trotz from the New York Islanders.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Barry Trotz of the New York Islanders.
And why do you pick Barry Trotz?
I think they're going to go far this year, and they might go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
And he knows the Capitals well, and he could knock out the Capitals out of the playoffs if they ever meet again.
Right.
because he kind of knows their tricks.
He does.
And let's talk about who's going to be the Norris Trophy winner this year. One of these picks is from the LA Kings, and that is Drew Doughty. And I'll tell you my other nominees for that award for the James Norris Memorial Trophy Award winner. And recently, last year's winner was Adam Fox from the New York Rangers. So, and then you talk about Erik Karlsson from the you also it was Adam Fox, and then Roman Josi is from the Nashville Predators. So it's going to be between Drew Doughty, Roman Josi, and Adam Fox. So I'm going to pick Drew Doughty from the LA Kings to take home another Norris Trophy.
All right.
And who's your pick to win the Norris Trophy this year?
I am going to go with Adam Fox.
A repeat winner?
Yep.
And why do you pick Adam Fox from the New York Rangers?
I think he's that good. He's probably carrying that team a lot.
Yeah, and then let's talk about who's going to win the President's Trophy. Who is your pick to win the NHL's President's Trophy this year? For which team will end up having the best record in the league?
I think it'll be the Tampa Bay Lightning again.
Not only that, I picked the Lightning to not only win the President's Trophy, even though they have that curse for them getting knocked out of the playoffs early. I think they're going to win the Stanley Cup again. They have the team to do it. But I think Tampa Bay will win it. But if not, then I think Colorado will win the Stanley Cup. I think they're more built to win the Stanley Cup, and I think they're long overdue. But there's a lot of teams out there that is long overdue. Will the Vegas Golden Knights win their first Stanley Cup in team history? Will the Avs win a Stanley Cup for the first time since Joe Sakic and Patrick Roy led that team in the late 90s?
Yeah, I think they could. I think they're going to be favorites.
Yeah, I think the favorites right now, I think it's Colorado and Vegas to win the Cup. And then I think Tampa Bay is going to get up there too, but Florida might be up there, but it's going to depend on the coaching drama.
Yeah.
And let's talk about, what are your thoughts so far on the Seattle Kraken?
Off to a pretty good start, I think. They got some wins, and I think they can I think they can probably do this. Yeah, and have a pretty successful season.
Yeah, it's only their first year in the league, and I think you can give them time. They got a pretty good roster, but talking about the Detroit Red Wings taking on the Washington Capitals, so do you think the Red Wings can get a win in Washington, or does Washington continue their hot start?
Yeah, I think Washington continues its hot start.
And then let's talk about the Kings taking on the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow at Staples Center. So do you think that the Kings can get a win here? Because they're 1-4-1 right now. They have not played well since their opening night victory against the Vegas Golden Knights.
Right.
And what do you think? Can the Kings get this win against the Winnipeg Jets, or do you think that's going to be too hard for them?
That might be too hard, I think.
What about them playing against the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres on a back-to-back?
That's always tough to play back-to-back like that, especially against the Sabres.
And the Sabres, I think the Sabres are done rebuilding. I think there's a lot of rumors about Jack Eichel wanting to get traded here. So I think the Sabres I think Terry Pegula is making the Sabres look like the Bills right now on the ice.
Right.
And I think the Sabres could be back to being the Sabres that we know.
Uh-huh.
And but I just think that the Atlantic Division is going to be a competitive division, though.
Yeah.
So the question is, will Joel Quenneville get fired after he meets with Gary Bettman about the situation?
I think he will.
And I don't, instead of him getting fired, he should just step down and say, like, look, guys, I don't want to be a distraction.
Yes, I agree. That's another way to do it.
It could be John Gruden's thing.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So we're going to be on air next week. So, Matt, we could be talking about a World Series winner next week, or we could be talking about Game 7. So we'll see you all next week, everybody.
Bye, Loro.